outpost. We're in Gush Katif, off the Mediterranean seacoast. Out there, really not. Don't like the way the things are coming out here. Just panning where we came from earlier. We're in the settlement. You know, now you can see.
Oh, he's like the metro. He's like the.
From 19 families, we expanded until about a half a year ago. We were 35 families. And since Sharon started attacking us himself with his disengagement plan, the more you torture the Jews, the more they expand. 4 families came. We have more families planning on coming. The problem is we're not managing to build enough houses since the government doesn't give us any more money. So we're slowly building. We have 3 houses that we're going to finish in a week or 2. And we already have 1 family with 8 children coming. And we're going to find 3 years only. I'm here for my whole life, and I'm dedicating my life for Am Yisrael. So if you think you're here for 3 years, for us, we're here our whole life for you in Tel Aviv. That's the way we feel, and that's the way it is.
Here. Them are dogs.
Women dogs.
The Philadelphia Road is right along in this area between Israel and Egypt. I'll be walking out there a little bit.
Where's my grandma? Hello, say hello to grandma. How are you?
You can get an up close and personal look at an outpost here, and you can get an idea of the security. We're actually going to go through the gate up to where these tanks are. Hopefully we'll have a lookout point where we can see down to the Philadelphia Road. Don't touch the fence. Don't touch the fence. This is a live wire.
It is electrified.
It's alive. Tell us about it, Brother Shaw.
It is electrified with 40,000 million ton 102 volts. And if you touch it, it'll turn you into a French fry.
A French fry.
This is the Israeli bus ministry. Armored buses. Our buses haven't had bulletproof glass on them. We travel around in bulletproof glass. 2 places that we were at today have been shelled already. The last time that we ate, the shelling took place within just 2 kilometers of where we were eating, just a minute or 2 away. And fell through a roof of a greenhouse. No Israeli was injured, but the workers, who some of them were Arab, 2 of them were killed, 4 of them had their legs amputated, and this bomb came from Arabs. So they hurt their own people. Okay, this is Rabbi Junior Samples and his used tank lot. All good quality stuff. If you buy now.
BR 549. Get you right here, right now. You see me, Junior. I'll help you out. I'll get you a tank.
Oh, I'm Israel high, I'm Israel high, I'm Israel high. I ought to do that for him, huh? Where's Joe at? They'd like that. I think they would. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, they're heading out in the field.
Oh, they're out in the field? They're going out in the field?
They're going on patrol, aren't they?
You see that pack of dogs out there?
Yeah, I think she was.
That's night vision. They had put. They're going on patrol.
On patrol, friends. Look at him. Look at him. He mean business. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Front lines. These guys are doing drills right now. You see that orange belly right across there. All right,
This is the Morag base, army base for special units. Like 6 months ago, it was a big attack on this base. They dig all the way from there, from the Gaza, all the way they dig under, and they get to under the base. They put a big explosion over there. And when they detonate, everything fell inside. 3 soldiers was killed, but all this base was ruined. How you say ruined? Ruined. All this base fell down inside. That was a big. It was 3,000 of kilos of TNT was under.
we're presently riding with Miss Ruth Matar and her daughter-in-law. And we are going to an area where she is living. Her and her family moved here just 2 months ago.
Wow. How beautiful.
And this is where her
I'll tell you the story of this place when we're together, so I don't have to repeat it.
Yeah.
But those are ancient Jewish, or ancient Egyptian, not ancient, Egyptian homes that were used as a resort, a sea resort for Egyptian officers, and now we are refurbishing them, you see, and we're putting in Jewish families. I'm just going to tell that to the group for a minute.
She'll tell us the story here.
Just I want, no, don't do that.
Her name. These are
Covering it.
remnants. These are from the Egyptian era. They had, it was a seaport, sea resort for Egyptians, and they're refurbishing these homes now.
No Arabs.
And Israelis or to settle here. The way families are coming. Now we're right here on the Mediterranean.
Ever get high?
Mediterranean.
Sure.
As you can see,
Tsunami.
right on the coast.
Yeah, I saw it just.
See, we're on the Mediterranean. This is a brand new settlement right here. This is Nadia. This is Ruth's Matar's daughter-in-law. Just moving in. You're going to get the whole story. Probably one of the bravest Israeli ladies you're going to hear.
Says, for Jerusalem, I will not hold my peace.
Outside. We're going to sit outside.
She gave me one of those.
Saya came with a bunch of friends from school for 3 days to volunteer to work here and in the hotel where I'll bring you. Sit down and I'll talk to you a little bit. Yeah.
Let me introduce you to everybody.
Get in there.
Go ahead.
No. This is the Mediterranean Sea.
Right there was Egypt.
These Jews are settling this coast, which is no more than 200 feet wide, and they're renovating these ancient Egyptian homes. They're not ancient, they're just
You guys have a seat.
maybe
Have a
50
seat.
years
Have a
old.
seat. Have a seat. Get that chair. Get that chair.
Right out of their backyard.
You guys can take videos later.
All together.
Scooty on, little fella.
Yes, let's go closer to each other because the sea is a little noisy and loud. Yes. What? I know.
Rabbi
But if you
France.
can come together anyway. Oh, hold on.
I said, if I'm gonna tell my wife that I'm here, she's never gonna believe me that I came to this place.
Okay.
It's like to be.
Welcome to Pariam. I want to first of all thank you for coming. You can hear me? Ah, the shade, no, it's okay. Coming here, I live in Efrat, in the Judean hills. It's, yes, north of Hebron, south of Jerusalem. I always tell people who do not understand why we live there. I always tell them I live there because of my earrings that Ruth Matar made. They said, what? I said, my dear mother-in-law, in her previous life, before she got involved with Women Green, is a jeweler. Maybe you don't even know that. Makes beautiful jewelry. And I always tell the youth in Israel, especially, I am here in Efrat, in the Judean hills, because of those earrings. So what are you talking about? It says those are ancient Jewish coins from the first temple, second temple. And if you dig anywhere here in the Judean hills, between Jerusalem and Hebron, this is our Jewish history. God gave us this land, and that's why we are here. You can dig how much you want in Tel Aviv, you're not going to find ancient Jewish coins. And then I start, of course, to talk, and I don't have to tell you why we're here, and I don't have to tell you also why Sharon's plan is a terrible plan. I'm here to tell you that it is in our power to stop the decree and to prevent the implementation of the Sharon suicidal plan. But before I'll tell you how, I want to tell you a little bit about where you are. Afterwards you'll go see the view, because you don't see the view now, but in a minute you'll see. We are in Kfar Yam. In 1983, Neve Dekalim, where you are staying, was founded. And Neve Dekalim, you'll see it in a minute when you look from the other side. The municipal boundaries of Neve Dekalim was up till the sea. In between is the Arab Muwasi. You drove by the Arab Muwasi. What is the Muwasi? It's an Arab word for a way of plantation. They plant things in the earth because they're so close to the sea. They don't need any irrigation, and it's called in Arabic Muwasi. That means it gets the water from the earth. In 1983, no Arabs were living here. You saw many Arabs now. It was the Arab fields of Khan Yunis. Because of the horrendous Oslo agreements, Arabs started taking over, building wildly anywhere, illegally, and the weak Israeli governments we've had since Oslo just let them do, and now unfortunately there are thousands of Arabs here between Neve Dekalim and the sea, illegally taking over land and living there. We'll deal with that at once. But anyway, in '85, 3 single people, one of them a woman called Datia Hershkovich, and 2 guys, I forgot their names, said, this is also part of Neve Dekalim, let's make sure there's a Jewish presence here on the sea. And they took 3 caravans, each one a caravan. And they lived here under very difficult conditions. Datia was single, she came here at night, there was no electricity, nothing, but they were here to keep the area, to make sure that the Arabs there wouldn't come here. A couple years later, this is a romantic story, a tour guide and a historian called Dr. Aryeh Yitzhaki, and Datia, the woman here, was the spokeswoman for Gush Katif, a very good spokeswoman. And she is called by this guy who says, I heard you the spokeswoman, please speak to my group. Anyway, to make a long story short, Arik and Datia fell in love. He brought 4 groups in 2 days. So he said, every time she told him, why can't you say what I said? I said it to you yesterday. Tell it to your group. Why do I have to come? I'm very busy. No, you have to tell the story. Anyway, we finally asked her out, and they built this beautiful home here that you see. the Yitzhaki home. They have 3 wonderful children. And for many years, they used to be here alone with 2 or 3 other single caravan behind it. He was murdered not far from here in his hut houses by Arab terrorists. Shaya Deutsch, there's 3 more homes down there in Kfar Yam. Shaya Deutsch was murdered also in the area. And they were here alone till the year 2000, when the Arab terrorist attack against the bus of the children of Kfar Darom, where the 3 Kohen children lost their legs, and 2 people, Miri and somebody else, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, were murdered. The Zionist response of the Neve Kalim youth was to come to Shirat Hayam, where you drove by, where I stopped your car. They brought 16 caravans. They said, you're murdering us because you want us to live here. Our response is to build a new community. They called it Shirat Hayam, the song on the sea, because we are not stopping to sing, we will continue to be here. But they did not touch those Egyptian shacks. Those were Egyptian homes for officers who were here on the resort area. They didn't touch it because it was a lot of work and it was dangerous. Nobody even entered it because they were afraid. The community of Shirat Hayam was there for 4 years already. Came along Ariel Sharon with his horrendous plan. And as I say to other people all the time, God gave us this land and nobody, no Jew has the right to give it away. And Arabs have tried to kick us out of here before 48, as you know, with Arab terror. And as a response was always, you're killing us because you want us out of here. We built a new Jewish community. Today, and I'm saying very harsh words, but that is the situation. This is Liora, one of our 6 children. We saw Talia. Today, Ariel Sharon has become the executive arm of the Hamas and wants to implement the Hamas platform of destroying Jewish communities and handing over parts of our God-given biblical homeland to the Hamas and the jihad, and they're all the same. And therefore, our Zionist response must once again be building more communities and bringing more Jews. And now I'm coming to the point how we're going to stop this plan. There's 4 elements. And the one element that I came, Women in Green, this is called the Women in Green Caravan, because this room is also the Matar family. We are here, but this room, where Ruth slept last night, is also, every time there's other Women in Green who come to sleep here and strengthen and help. Women in Green has become very involved with the project Arik and Datya started called Minhelet Kela, which is an acronym for the absorption center, the absorption of many Jews here in the Gaza Strip. The idea being, the more Jews we can bring here, the more difficult or almost impossible it will be to uproot. There's a story, there's a historical precedent for this. The historical precedent is something they never taught us in our Jewish day school. And in my eyes, it's as important as the story of the Maccabees of Hanukkah. And maybe you know the story. Don't forget to pick up Fox is going to call. Fox News is meeting us. This is really from God organized. They're going to see. The story is the year 40, when the second temple was in Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. Caligula was... Who is this? Is that Fox News? כן, אני באמצע הפגישה פה. מי זה בבקשה? אפשר להתקשר? I'm sorry, I'm just... Yes. That was skin when you were here. 348 הוא כבר במלון, ואני מתחילה בו I'll tell you about it. The year 40. Second temple is up. Jewish life is thriving. But Caligula is the Roman emperor. As we know, he was crazy. He has a decree that in every place of worship in his empire, he wants a statue of himself. He's God. He tells the Jewish people, I am bringing this huge statue to your holy temple, and I'm sending Petronius, my army person, to bring it. The Jews are flabbergasted. What are we going to do? A sacrilegious statue in our holy temple. This is the end. This is a decree we cannot accept. Josephus writes about it beautifully. The Romans arrive in Tiberias with the statue. They set up camp there on their way to Jerusalem. And Josephus describes it. One morning we wake up and we see a sea of Jews. Men, two camps, women on one side, men on the other side. Old women, young women, children, babies, and the same with the men, old men, young men, children. Petronius goes out and says, what is this? How dare you rise up? So we're not rising up, but we're telling you, or you abolish the decree, or you're gonna have to kill us all on your way from Tiberias to Jerusalem. It was June. It was the heat of Tiberias. I don't know if you know how hot it is there. And despite that, they stood there. Petronius is in shock. He sends back a telegram to Rome, which takes a few weeks, of course. What shall I do? Caligula is furious, sends back an email, again a few weeks, to Petronius. I order upon you to do so, and otherwise I fire you, i.e. you have to commit suicide. At that time, I fire you, they said, you have to commit suicide if you don't do it. What was the miracle? Before the email or the letter came by boat about him firing him, another news came in a completely unrelated story, a political rivalry in Rome. Caligula was killed and dethroned, and the decree was abolished. That is our lesson for this summer. We believe that if we bring many people here, 150,000 people here, we can stop the decree in a non-violent way, just by standing here in our masses. That is what Women in Green got involved with in Helet Kela, bringing here as many Jews as we can. The first step is, what we're doing every day is refurbish homes, like you saw, and it happens in every community. Not every community has Egyptian homes, so you have old caravans. Had you seen this 3 months ago, you would not believe that people can live in here. But we got the money from Jews. Yeah, this was one of the caravans from '85, and was abandoned. It was completely a Holman. And we got money from friends and lovers of Israel, for Jews and non-Jews, to Helet Kela, who refurbished this, and the houses there, and in every community. And we already brought to close to 1,000 Jews, which is not enough, but it's a beginning of people who live here. I'm sending my children to the schools. Today she's not feeling well, but usually she goes to the school here. And volunteers from around the country who cannot come are sending us second-hand furniture. We have a truck going around the country bringing furniture, bringing donations, bringing... But parallel to that, we're preparing for the second stage of the war, because it's a war. It's a war of a civil war, not a civil war, it's a war between two ideas. Those who want to keep on to the land and those who want to cave in to terror, etc. For the battle. We have a big hangar, because we know that D-Day is not the day where he's going to come and try to kick us out. D-Day is when he's going to try to close down Gush Katif. That is, we call that D-Day, Deportation Day. That is when, to freeze us out. That is when all the activists around the country who at this stage cannot come and live here with their family, they know that they will come in their masses. They already have a backpack ready with 2 liters of water, a flashlight, a sleeping bag, and wire cutters to cut the fence. We're going to break down the fence and come in masses. Come in masses right here. But they're not going to stay if we do not prepare for them today. Water, which we're not going to get when they close the area. Food, basic food, and areas to sleep in. So Helet Kela, parallel to fixing up homes for families, is also preparing for that day. And in our humongous hangar, we are stacking up dry canned food, matzot that people didn't eat in Pesach, you know, those matzot, those crackers, yes, tents. And we're going to build tent cities for those people. The idea being, as I told you, and in Yamit, when the uprooting of Yamit took place for a fake peace with Egypt, the head of the army told Rav Neria Zatzal, before he took him out of the synagogue and before he destroyed the place, says, Rabbi Neria, If you only had arranged another 20,000 Jews here today, I would have been so happy to tell the government that I just can't do it. We failed in Yamit. We didn't bring enough people because the national religious camp wasn't as strong yet. Now we have a generation of youngsters, of youth, and of so many people. This time we cannot fail and we will not fail with God's help. The head of the army, Boogie Alon, said 150,000 people, the army can't do it. So the four elements, it was fired, yes. The four elements that are going to thwart Sharon's plan are A, the steadfastness of the people in Gush Katif, not to sign on any document and not to receive compensation, to continue to plant for next year. This box, it stands now that the majority is standing firm. A group of people have organized a fund to give, usually when they plant for next year, they get money, a loan from the bank, because it's a lot of money. This year the bank said, are you crazy? Ganz Meshike geworden? I'm going to give you money for you're going to be uprooted. So many people, they organize a fund and of people who are given 1,000 shekel each to help those farmers. That is a very important project also. Because in Yamit, 95% of the people left with compensation, and those who struggled were outsiders who came to have a demonstration. But if the government thought that this would happen here too, I saw documents by the Machon Demokrati that's what they expected, that the majority will leave and we'll deal with 10% of hotheads. We can deal with them. They are but they cannot understand that people are still here. That's number one. Number two is the tens of thousands of soldiers who are not going to carry out the order of the deportation and the destruction of Gush Katif and the Shomron. People tell me, and Women in Green has been working with Chomat Magen. This is a project that started with the brother of Limor Livnat, the Minister of Education, Noam Livnat, who lives in Sharat Hayam. He moved to, and we're working with him. His sister is for the disengagement, for the uprooting, and he lives in the Samarian Hills. He moved here. He's also a handicap. He had a car accident. And we're working with him. Our women in Jerusalem and around the country are signing up. Together we signed up 30,000 soldiers already, who are saying a very simple message. We are not refuseniks. People on the left, we are not, wait. People on the left, leftists, who say I refuse to attack terrorists because I refuse to be in the occupied territories and I refuse to go to the army. Those are the refuseniks, because the purpose of the Israeli army is to fight Arab terror and to protect the Israeli citizens. And they are not doing their obligation. Those leftists who say I'm not going to bomb the terrorists because I might harm some innocent. There are no innocent civilians if they live around terrorists and they let them be there. We are not refuseniks. It says in the ethical codes of the army that some orders are illegal. And the order to uproot Jewish citizens, to destroy Jewish communities, is an illegal and immoral order. Therefore, we tell the soldier, if you want to keep the honor of the army, and if you want to keep yourself a Jewish soldier, a proud Jewish soldier, do not carry out that order. Do not take part in it. That's how you will save the IDF's honor. Otherwise, if you do take part in this, you will turn yourself into a Cossack doing a pogrom. And I am telling you that is the second thing that will thwart the plan. 30,000 soldiers signed, they're not going to do it. For every soldier that signed, we had at least 5 who told me, Nadia, I'm scared to give my name and my number, but I promise you, when the day comes, I'm not going to do it. So when 30,000 people sign, many more I know will not do it. Just check if it's Fox News, otherwise tell them to call me. That is so, the steadfastness of the people, the soldiers, the non-violent civil disobedience. You heard about the 40 intersections that have been blocked around the country. Ariel Sharon said in his elections, Netzarim, Gush Katif is like Tel Aviv. Nothing should be given away. He cheered us, of course. He turned around and became Amram Now. You know as much as I know how it's also a spit in the face of democracy and of cheating the public, etc. But he said that sentence. Netzarim and Tel Aviv are the same in my eyes. We are telling him, the people who organize the non-violent civil disobedience, if you block Gush Katif and a grandfather in Jerusalem cannot visit his grandchildren in Gush Katif, we're going to make sure that a grandfather in Rehovot cannot visit his children in Tel Aviv. That's what you said, Ariel Sharon. We acted on that. And the fourth, so the non-violent civil disobedience means blocking roads, etc., with the purpose of making it more difficult for the troops to come here. And the last element is the element which we are the most involved with, as I told you already before, is the bringing here the masses of the people. Together, those four things, with God's help, please God, will thwart Sharon's plan. And as I say always, this is not a fight for the survival of Datia's beautiful home, or for the survival of my, or for my beautiful house in Efrat, which we have a 4-story, wonderful, beautiful villa. It is for the survival of the state of Israel, as you very well know. Because if God forbid this comes true, the Arabs will know, yalla, it works. Let's continue our terror, and we're going to continue on Ashkelon, Ashdod, Hadera, Tel Aviv, Netanya, and Jerusalem. You know that. And that is only their first step. The main message of the Arab graffiti is first the Saturday people. It's again, you're not a good secretary. First the Saturday people, then the Sunday people. That's their slogan. Let's get rid of the Jews in Israel, and then we go on with our jihad war in Europe, and then America. And that's it, we know that. And therefore, when I say that we have to fight here, we fight not for the survival of Datia's house or my house, not for the survival of Gush Katif, but for the survival of the state of Israel and of the Judeo-Christian world. That's how I see it. The problem is not the settlements, it's one settlement called the state of Israel. That's what they want to get rid of as a step to the rest. And one of the, you have another minute or two?
Yes,
one of these articles I wrote a couple of months ago. Usually I get a lot of reactions, but this got over 1,000 emails. I wrote an article, maybe you saw it. This is what I wrote. The news from France is that Jacques Chirac has come up with a plan to deal with the incredible tension between the Jews and the Muslims in Paris. As you know, there's incredible tension there. Jacques Chirac is planning the disengagement plan of the Jews from Paris. By the end of 2005, no Jews will be allowed in Paris ever again. Every Jew from Paris that agrees to leave willingly will receive compensation. The Jews who do not agree to leave willingly we are training the French army today to kick them out. Jewish synagogues will be given over to the Muslims and will be turned into Arab mosques. That is our plan for having a peaceful relations with the Jews, and the Jews are invited to live in Marseille and in Toulouse and in any other city, just not in Paris. I continued the article by writing, the government of Israel was horrified at this anti-Semitic plan and complained at the UN, an official complaint. Jacques Chirac replied saying, who are you to complain? All we are doing is implementing Ariel Sharon's plan in Gush Katif and the Shomron here in Paris. Who are you to complain? That was the end of the article. I got over 1,000 emails, the majority of the people thinking it was a real story. Where did you see this? We didn't know. We have to organize a mass rally worldwide. This is unheard of. This is unacceptable. This is like the Germany of then. And I replied to each one of them. I said, you didn't understand. This was a cynical thing. This was just, how come you are so shocked when I say Jacques Chirac doing this? Yeah. And how come you are not outraged when the Prime Minister of Israel does exactly what I said about Paris? And so the answer was, interestingly, maybe Rabbi Peretz can explain the psychology, because I can. Because Ariel Sharon is a Jew, he's allowed to do so. I said to them, on the contrary, because he's a Jew, it's even worse. It's even worse.
Right.
Anyway, so that was an interesting thing for when we ask yourself sometimes, where's the outrage? Anyway,
can I stop you?
Yes. And let me just finish, because then in the hotel, it's going to be more difficult to speak. I'm going to bring you now to Minhelet Kela's latest project. Because the refurbishing of the homes takes time, it took me 3.5 months to do this. We have such a big list of people. One more minute. I'm leaving in 5 minutes. If you want to come with me, you have to get dressed quickly. And we have so many people who wanted to come. We said to ourselves, where is there a place where we can quickly bring many families without having to wait so long? And then we said the hotel, what once used to be the hotel, the Palm Beach Hotel, was a beautiful hotel. Ruth Matar had her birthday there with the entire family 5 years ago. I'm not going to tell you which birthday. Her 25th birthday. Her 25th birthday 5 years ago in the hotel. It was the most beautiful hotel. Because of the Oslo War, tourists didn't come. The place has been abandoned. And I'm ashamed to say also Jewish and also Arab criminals came from all over and looted the place. Not only the furniture, everything you can take. Windows, toilets, sinks, anything that is metal frames, everything was destroyed. The place became a total destruction and disgusting and dirty. It was very depressing for the people in Gush Katif. We said, let's contact the owners and let's tell him to turn this place again into something, a Jewish answer, a Jewish community. He gave me and another fellow Jew the legal and me. We're working in a hotel. No, who owns it is a Jew from Yerushalayim called Eitan Ben David. He says, listen, I cannot invest money in this, but I give you the authority, the legal authority to turn this back into a nice place. Pioneering families entered on Passover in the filth with their babies and their children. No electricity, no running water. And we started bringing in groups of volunteers like my daughter's friends, with much bigger groups, guys and girls, who started cleaning up the place. Little by little, over the past few weeks, the hotel has been cleaned. Somebody lent us a generator. Families have moved in. And now, depending on I'm being very blunt. I'm being very blunt. For Women in Green, I never ask for money, but if you know of people, depending on the generosity of our friends, we are going to turn this place into a place, we recalled it Ma'oz Hayam, Fortress on the Sea. We're going to see it now, but I want to give you already the entire explanation now because we are here together in a more private area. Fortress on the Sea. There are close to over 20 families living there now, and every day somebody is donating for the next few weeks. I hope it's going to continue. 1 hot meal a day for the volunteers who work there and the families who live there. Slowly, we hope to have a kitchen there. The generator makes that every room has a light bulb. We have 1 fridge for all those families with babies. You're going to see the place, it's amazing. Because there's so many children, thank God, we said we need to give them a activity. Yesterday, we founded the nursery school, kindergarten, nursery, in memory of a dear woman in Green who suddenly passed away. Her name is Suzanne Davis. I'll show it to you, the kindergarten there. And hopefully we're going to fight. Everything there is volunteering except a few people. I'm going to be honest again, we have to pay the guard. It's a real guard at the entrance who's there from 8 to 6 to make sure that nobody comes in. Yes, you can take on top of the fridge. At night, the residents of the hotel themselves take shifts, volunteering. That is part of their commitment. They're signing on they don't have to pay because who would pay to live in such conditions? But so they pay a symbolic 18 shekel for the month, but they have to work. The condition is that they work in the hotel to refurbish it, and they have to guard. And the women help in the food, etc. Volunteers from around the country, electricians, plumbers, painters, dedicate a day of their time and come down there and help. But we are paying one man who's the one who oversees the entire project, because he's the one who tells the electrician, you have to do this, you have to do that. We have to pay, for instance, the women who are going to take care of the children. It's a big project. I'm very proud and happy to show it to you. I wish you could have seen it a month ago. you would have seen the difference. You'll have to imagine it, but it's still in shambles. We are not turning this into a 5-star hotel. We are giving the basics. We're giving every room 1 light bulb, hopefully water. If we get the money for dudei shemesh, for a dud, for this, to get hot water, we will try to have it, because there are many children, and to give them every day a cold shower is difficult. And we're trying to raise the funds to get a few rooms where there's going to be hot water. This is called a dud shemesh. I don't know how you call it, a dud.
How much does that cost?
I'm going to call the person in charge of this, and I will tell you in a minute. I'll give. We're trying to get a few rooms, hot rooms, so the mothers can bring their children to have a shower, a hot shower, a warm shower. What else do I want to say? Yeah, so we're not turning this into a luxury place. It's a tough place to live in, and that is where we, on the beach, are going to also create tent cities. Because if we hopefully are able to have a big kitchen there, that will be the main kitchen for all the volunteers who are going to come. We're going to have to feed them, not only with crackers. If they come here for a couple of weeks, you can't give somebody crackers and then leave. All this is again depending on the generosity of our friends. I'll show it to you now. It's my honor to show it to you. If you need the bathroom on a very tachlis level, I suggest that you use the bathroom in my caravan, because there's only a couple of toilets working there. I'm being very honest. So if you need the bathroom, use it here in my caravan. Let's go to our car. Let's go see the place.
And her husband had been married about a year. Ruth's husband complained to his mama. And Ruth's husband said to his mama, "Mama, how come you didn't make me a quintuplet? Because this woman I'm married to has the energy of 5 men."
Our door from people from Gush Katif. The people in Gush Katif, farmers, who give to people who need. Why do we need? For instance, they heard that we had a big group of girls coming, and they know that we're feeding them, those girls. This is to help and for the appreciation they have. He gives it not only to people like us, but the farmers here go in the middle of the night, so that nobody should know who does it, to different homes of poor people, because we have many people here who have a difficult financial time in Gush Katif. And they wake up in the morning and they see boxes of vegetables and fruits given to them for free by the Gush Katif people. The Gush Katif people told me that every Jewish holiday, tons of vegetables and fruits leave Gush Katif in humongous trucks to go give to the poor people around the country. They have a gemach. How do you say gemach in English?
Free loan fund.
A free loan fund. They just give it.
Food free loan.
A food loan, yeah. They just give, and it's Gush Katif people. They are the things that people don't even know. Cherry tomatoes in Israel are only from Gush Katif. And I mean, I'm sure that on the tour yesterday you saw different hot houses, and the most beautiful vegetables of Israel are from Gush Katif. And they explained to us that they cannot just bring this to another place in the country, because here is the perfect climate, etc. And with the sea, with the sun, and the place all together. We have a friend who has geraniums. You're going to see at the entrance of the hotel we planted geraniums. And when I went to see his hot house, I said, "Tell me, what do you mean you're bringing it to Holland? Don't they have beautiful flowers in Holland? They need to bring from Gush Katif?" And he said to me, "Nadia, in Holland, they have to pay thousands of dollars to have the perfect climate. It's cold there. To have those hot houses, it's much better for them to bring it where it really grew in the perfect conditions. And that's why in Holland, there's incredible demand for the geraniums from Gush Katif." And he said to me, in sand, of course, in sand. Anyway, let's go to see the hotel, because that's our big bay.
No, you have to show them the whole.
The rooms. This is the women in green guest room. Ruth Matar is here. She made her bed specially for you. So you have to film it. My children are here, and they.
This is my bed. They have to help me out there a bit every morning.
Oh.
And that is Betsy. We'll show them your bed too, Leora, okay?
See, two guests at a time, or 3.
Yeah. This is the shower.
I couldn't get hot water until we found out that they did it hafuch. À la roche. Red is cold water and blue is the hot water. So Ruth thought it was a good example of the situation. It's upside down.
This is looking out As you can see, in between here and Gush Katif proper, you have Arabs in between them.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful.
So, Brian, what's the dimensions again, Brother Brian? The dimensions? The dimensions?
This this strip is about 200 feet wide.
By
I'm not sure of the length. From what I can gather, from guard tower to entrance there will probably be 200 yards.
they wanted me to show you their basketball court. They're excited about putting this up, and here these men are installing the goals, rims, and so forth. And you can see the wall, wall, fence,
אני חוזרת אחר כך להביא אתכם למלון.
Palestinians or the Arabs and the Jews.
This is the continuation of the Jews coming back into the land that God gave them. We are just north of Egypt on the Mediterranean Sea, and this is another
Please come.
place that they have come back to, another habitation, another dwelling place. You'll be able to see the Mediterranean Sea in the background. You can hear generators pumping, making their own electricity. They are constructing things. And again, this is such a narrow strip, but it's just a place, they're trying to get a foothold, and they will not give this land up. And the women of this particular community are birthing their children, raising their children, having their children here, and it's just like the women in Moses' day. They could not get rid of the Hebrews back then because the Hebrew children had their babies and were right back to the work. And these Hebrew children here are having, or Hebrew women here are having their children, and they're right back to the work, and the work is freedom. The work is to hang on to this land.
This is the former Palm Beach motel here in Gush Katif. It was shut down 5 years ago, and she was referring to this when we were at her home, talking about what they're doing to refurbish this, make it a habitat for 20 families.
This is now a Beit Midrash. Children come here to learn. I saw the children on a break. They come from around the country to learn Torah right here. They learn, you hear the sound of the Torah for the children. It's unbelievable. Look how, this is called clean compared to what was a month ago. It's obviously not enough. People don't eat, then they can't fight, they can learn, they can, etc.
What is this room?
This is hopefully, Be'ezrat Hashem, going to become the kitchen. A big kitchen of the same. And Kemach and Torah. Kemach and Torah.
Community kitchen, you mean?
Yeah, community kitchen. People in their own rooms, if they want to have a little stove, etc., to do on their own, they can. But at this point, the communities... That's no, there's not enough electricity for microwave. There's only one generator, one or two fridges, and that's it. So hopefully this will become, and this is called, again, clean, compared to what it was. We're from the Talmud Torah. Every day we hear, you just came on the break, maybe you'll see them in a minute. They learn Torah here. One kid even left his sandals under the chair, I see. Now, some people took advantage of the fact that it was empty and just came in here and made it their homes. There's a couple of Jews living there. Jews living down here. Meanwhile, we try to get along with them. They are not. It's a little bit of trouble, but sometimes it's a trouble people. At this point, no, yeah, it's a problem. It's a whole legal issue we have to deal with. Meanwhile, we decided. We have a policy that we're not letting in media here, which is a very important policy. The media tries to, like vultures, always to come and to film the residents as if they're like in a zoo, you know, every time putting cameras into people. People have said here, shalom. There's some people who want to live here. יש לי פה קבוצה. אתה מכיר את בנצי? פגשת את בנצי כבר? בסדר? עשיתם ציור כבר עם בנצי? אז אני צריכה עוד כמה דקות, אני נותן להם סיור, כי הם יסכים לנו. There's a new family who's coming, you just came at a time when a new family came to see the place and wants to move in here from the southern hills of Hebron. Here you see a map of the Gaza Strip. It's not in, it is not in English, but as you can see, it's, I mean, you know the map. This is Gush Katif. This is Khan Yunis. You know, they say always you have to leave the Gaza Strip. You have to leave Gaza. Now, which, you know, Ashkelon is right here. And where is Gaza? This is Gaza. Here's Gaza. And here's Gush Katif. The city of Gaza.
Yeah.
City of Gaza. Here's Gush Katif. Meaning, when I ask the average Israeli, what is closer to Gaza, to the city of Gaza? Gush Katif or Ashkelon? Of course they say Gush Katif. Gush Katif is in Gaza, right? Excuse me. Ashkelon is closer to the city of Gaza than Gush Katif. That's it. You were in Kfar Yam by me. That's where you were right now on the sea, so you can see. This is Nevet Kalim where you are staying. I'll sit next to me here. This is Nevet Kalim where you are staying.
Hotel.
The hotel is right here, Chov Tmarim. This is what we drove on the sea.
This is the road.
Shderot is right here. Well, one second. Here, this is a smaller map. Okay, this is a smaller map. This is no Shderot. Here's Shderot. Here's Shderot.
It's right
Here's
outside.
Shderot. So Shderot is here.
Right out.
6 kilometers.
That's where they shoot
No,
from.
not saying
They shoot from bait.
Shderot. So you have basically the Jewish community in the Gaza Strip is Gush Katif. All those Tel Katifa, Netzach Hazani, Katif, Ganital, the hotel area. There's Shirat Hayam, Kfar Yam, Nevi Kalim, Gadit, Gan Or, Dolach, Bnei Atzmon. Can you pick up and see if it's them? Kerem Atzmona, where you planted trees yesterday on the standard. You were supposed to have Morag, Slav,
Where's
Afir.
Morag?
Morag is here. Morag is here.
Where are we at
So
again?
that is one area. There's
Right
like
now?
3 entities live here because of demographic reasons. Let's say that was the real reason. Then, as somebody pointed out, then at least keep Nisanit, El Sinai, and Dugit together with Ashkelon, because there's no Arabs in between. And let's say what is the reason, but it's not. The very fact that they also want to take away Nisanit, El Sinai, and Dugit, instead of attaching it to the rest, shows that it has nothing to do with the demographic reasons, and they just want to uproot us and bring us back to the 1967 Auschwitz borders. That's all. I mean, it's so logical that this should be part of it, of Ashkelon, etc. They want to kick us out of everywhere. So here you have a smaller map. Again, Gush Katif, Netzarim, and the northern part. Here you see it better. Let's go to the kindergarten. There are 3 rooms. There are 3 rooms. I urge you to look at the 3 different rooms. Now have a tour. There's a problem with the view, with the water, so you'll mind to.
The Vineyard's will be the next prime minister, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Especially after yesterday.
He can't get
All
back
this
in
is
the
rebuilt
States.
by us. We have a show maybe this is one. Hello? כן. איפה אתה? מ-10 עד 11. אוקיי, אז אני צריכה abandoned for a couple of years.
Fox News.
Because
Reporters from Fox.
Hold on. Let me just, Ima, take his phone. Just tell them to call me later. I work with Vineyard, which is an organization that one of the answers for us to try to prevent how we're going to win and acknowledge the decree of Ariel Sharon is to refurbish homes.
Jewish issue, an Israeli issue. Well, we owe great gratitude to the Hebrew race, to the Jews. As a Christian, not only do we receive our Bible from the Jews, we also receive a great blessing from them. God promised a blessing to those who would bless Abraham, and in Abraham's seed shall all families of the earth be blessed. We believe that to be the lineage of the Lord Jesus Christ. So as a result of us getting the Word of God and the Son of God from the Hebrew race, we feel that we should stand with them. This land, if you dig in it, you find artifacts that are Hebrew. You do not find artifacts that are Arab. This land has been theirs for 4,000 years. To ask them to give this land away or to force them to give this land away would be akin to asking the Eskimos or forcing the Eskimos to give up Alaska or forcing American Africans or telling a cowboy he can no longer reside in Texas. This is their heritage, this is their culture, this is their blessing from God that he gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
And you were saying part of it is also, you believe as Christians, God blesses, what were you telling me about God blessing and God cursing?
Yes, in Genesis chapter 12 and verse number 3, God promised a special blessing to those who bless Abraham, as well as a curse to those who curse Abraham. We believe our president, who claims to be a Christian, and we believe that he is. We love him, we pray for him, we voted for him. We believe he's getting some bad advice, and he's taking a position against Israel. We do not want the curse from God falling upon our country. Our country was financed by Jews. Our country has been blessed because the United States has been in the past pro-Israel. We are right now in the valley of decision, and we pray that our president would reverse course on this so-called roadmap to peace and stand with Israel so that the United States could continue receiving the blessings of God.
You've spent a couple days here now talking to people, viewing the settlement. How far are these people willing to go, ready to resist when the evacuation does take place? It's supposed to start in mid-August. How far are these people willing to go, willing to resist?
Well, these people are remarkable, especially the women of Israel. They are a determined bunch, and they're moving in. This land that they are living in, they are not leaving this land. They're coming in more and more and more in a peaceful statement that this land belongs to us and we're not willing to give it up. We're going to stay here.
Will it be peaceful?
Well, that would depend upon Mr. Sharon. We hope that he would really come to terms with real peace and realize that he should not take military action against his own people.
Okay.
Go.
Well, Sisi is one of the leaders of all this what's happened over here. He's always on TV, the police chasing him, the government, our government chasing him. And even if he's not doing anything, they're arresting him for no reason. They're causing him and his family problems. He's Itamar Ben Gvir. He's the most famous in Israel right now. He's embarrassed that I'm saying that, but this is the man. And my wife, when she sees him on TV, she's always smiling and everything. Because he's not in no fear. He's not scaring to say anything what he want to say, he's saying on TV and everything.
אוקיי, נגיד שאנחנו לא באנו לארץ ישראל כדי שיגרשו אותנו.
We didn't came to land of Israel to be thrown out from here.
זה הארץ שלנו.
That's our land.
זו ארצו של הקדוש ברוך הוא.
That's the God land.
כאן אבות אבותינו היו.
That's all our ancestors came to this place. That's from the Bible time.
וכאן נמשיך לחיות.
And we're gonna keep continue living in this
בעזרת
place.
השם ננצח.
With the help of God, we're gonna win.
I enjoy living. I have to say this to you. I ask you to pray for me. I have some very serious things wrong with me. I had open heart surgery in 2002. My sternum has never healed. So it wobbles around on me all of the time. Anytime I'm getting in the car, out of the car, in the bus, out of the bus, going up and down steps, everything like that. My sternum just like that. It feels like all the time that I have a bad toothache from right about here to right there. Right? Last year, when I was here in Israel in February of 2004, I came down. I have a softball-sized tumor in the blood vessels that supply blood to my digestive system. Now, what it does, I went back home. I was in Hadassah Hospital for 3 nights. Dr. Rifkin, they treated me in Hadassah. I was somebody. I was beginning to think I was somebody. Panhandle of Bush's, Texas.
Mostly Texas.
I went home and they operated on it. They made an incision from right there for 11 inches down. They went in, they could not get the tumor out. So the tumor's still in there. Then my heart doctor has told me that my aorta valve is shrinking and that I need to have it. I'm not telling you this to get you to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to pity me. You pray for me. Okay? Every day. What's your Hebrew name? Yaakov. Isaiah chapter 5, and you'll see my last name in Isaiah chapter 5. My mother's name, her maiden name was Governor. First Tony. Very, very serious. We have a problem. It's amazing. These fellas with me got in, and myself and Bruce got in, 16 minutes this morning. Fox News, the Fox News, interviewed myself, Rabbi Krantz, and several of the others interviewed Tom. So what you need to really, and some other, a Japanese TV station interviewed this last one.
Al Jazeera. Was it?
You need to pray that what we say. We sent out